You are not planning to watch anything else tonight. The room is quiet, the light from your phone is the only glow, and your mind is loud. You scroll, but nothing prends your heart until you stop here, not by accident. Your thoughts have been heavy. It is too late for me. Doors do not open for someone like me. Heaven feels far. You do not even say these words out loud, but they echo inside like a locked corridor. As you listen, something begins to shift. You feel as if someone is inside your mind, walking through the messy rooms you try to keep hidden. The door labeled fear of the future, the door marked shame from the past, the door painted with quiet panic about provision, work, bills, responsibilities. So many doors, so many closed. Then it happens. In the middle of your confusion, one single thought appears, quiet and different from all the others. It does not accuse you. It does not belittle you. It does not repeat the same story of loss, rejection, delay. It feels like it comes from somewhere higher, deeper, from a place that has always known you. As soon as this thought touches your heart, something like a key turns in the unseen. A lock inside you clicks open. A door you did not even know existed begins to move. You sense it. If you can receive and guard this one thought, everything can change. Not only in your emotions, but in the invisible realm where opportunities, connections, favor, provision, and new beginnings are born. While you stay here listening, that key is already in my hand, and I am ready to place it in yours. You did not stop here by curiosity alone. You were drawn because you are tired of thoughts that close everything around you. Somewhere inside, you know there must be a thought that opens spiritual doors, a powerful revelation that does not just make you feel better for a moment, but actually shifts your path, your relationships, your inner atmosphere, and even the flow of provision and opportunities around your life. You have asked questions in the dark. Why do doors seem closed for me? Why do others move forward while I feel stuck? Is there something wrong with me? Am I missing something? As you stay with me, this question will not remain without an answer. What if one single, hidden thought has been locking doors that were meant to open? And what if one new thought from my heart could begin to unlock what seemed sealed for years? Listen to me. I know every tear you cried when no one was watching. I saw the nights when you tried to pray and the words died on your lips. I walked beside Paul in prison when chains could not stop the doors I decided to open. I sent an angel to Peter, and iron gates that seemed impossible to move opened by themselves. I watched a whole generation stop at the border of their promise because of how they thought about themselves. I am the one who said that as a person thinks in the heart, so that person becomes. You can trust what I am about to reveal. In this time together, I will show you which thought has been secretly closing doors over your life. I will uncover where it came from and how it attached itself to your identity. I will teach you how to replace it with the thought that aligns you with heaven, so that peace, direction, restoration, and even unexpected provision can begin to flow. I will walk with you through the inner rooms of your mind, so that you leave this message carrying a key, not another weight. Stay until the end. Along this path I will whisper one sentence to your heart, a living word. When you write this sentence later, you will be aligning yourself with what heaven is releasing over you, and blessings will begin to move in areas you thought were closed. While you listen, subscribe as an act of faith, as if you are saying, I choose to walk with you every day. And in the comments declare with your own hand, Señor, estou aqui, me inscrevi porque te amo e quero te ouvir. Share also your country and city so that this place becomes a worldwide altar of voices and hearts that I am gathering for a new season. When your mind becomes a doorway, I want you to see your mind as more than a place of random thoughts. Your mind is a hallway of doors. Every thought you accept, agree with, and repeat becomes a key. Some keys open doors to peace, courage, clarity, holy boldness, and an inner sense of security that no economy, no crisis, no rejection can steal. Other keys open doors to torment, anxiety, confusion, jealousy, comparison, and a heavy fog of discouragement. You have been living inside doors that someone else taught you to unlock. There were words spoken over you that never came from me. You are not smart enough. You always ruin things. You will never have stability. People like you do not reach that level. These phrases became thoughts, and these thoughts became the keys you used on yourself. So every time a new opportunity appeared, every time I tried to bring a connection, an idea, a path of increase or a step of promotion, that old thought turned in the lock and the door closed before you could even try. Look at my people standing before the promised land. I had already prepared vineyards, houses, fertile fields, streams of refreshing and abundance. But the spies came back saying, "We are like grasshoppers. They are giants, we are small." The land was not closed, I was not closed. Their own thought about themselves shut the door. Can you see how powerful a single thought can be? Not only to define how you feel, but to decide how far you walk. You have experienced the same pattern in your life. A new relationship appears, and the thought says, "You are too broken. It will fail." A new idea for work or study rises in your heart, and the thought whispers, "You are late, others are ahead. There is no room for you." A new invitation arrives, and the thought hisses, "Do not embarrass yourself, stay where you are." Slowly, you begin to live as a guest in your own story, watching doors open for others while you stand in the hallway, afraid to move. Yet even there I have been with you. I watched you rehearse painful memories, thinking that by replaying them, you would protect yourself, when in truth you were reinforcing the locks. I saw you count your resources and conclude, "It will never be enough." And with that thought, you closed the door through which I wanted to surprise you with provision, ideas, partnerships and solutions that do not depend only on what you can see in your hands right now. Today I tell you, your mind is not a prison, it is a doorway. Together, we will identify the thought that has repeated like a broken record inside you. I am alone. I am forgotten. I am always behind. Nothing ever works for me. This is the thought that closes spiritual doors. Not the circumstance, not other people, not your age or background. This agreement in your heart has more power over your steps than any external barrier. And today, I begin to break it. As you receive this, pause for a moment and breathe. Ask yourself with me, what is the phrase that has defined how you see yourself and your future? Let this question stay alive inside you. While you reflect, if this word is touching you gently like the turning of a key, show that you agree with what I am doing, like this message so it reaches more hearts that stand in the same hallway. Subscribe not out of obligation, but as a sign that you choose to walk this inner journey with me day after day. Share this video as a gesture of love, sending a key to someone you know stands before closed doors. And in the comments, write the phrase "Portas abertas," declaring by faith that your mind is becoming the doorway I created it to be. What door inside you needs to open first? Replacing the thought that closes doors. Now that you have begun to see how one thought can close doors, I want to reveal the thought that opens them. The thought that has been closing doors over you often sounds like this: "Heaven is distant from me. I am on my own. Favor is for others, not for me." It may wear different words, but the root is always the same. The lie that you are abandoned and that everything depends only on your own strength, your own limited resources, your own history of failures. The thought that opens spiritual doors begins in a completely different place. It starts with this reality: I am with you. I am for you, not against you. I have already gone ahead of you. I am not limited by your past, your education, your family name, or your current bank balance. I know the plans I think toward you, plans of peace, of future and hope. When this becomes more than a verse you heard and turns into the thought you actually agree with inside, doors begin to respond. Think of a person standing in front of a closed business, seeing only the locked entrance and feeling defeated. Then someone appears with inside knowledge and says, "There is a side entrance that is open. You are allowed to use it. There is a place prepared for you inside." The building did not change, but the person's thought about access changed, and now the steps follow. That is what I am doing in you. I am showing you that while you stare at one closed door, I am quietly opening others and inviting you to believe that you are not excluded from my goodness. This new thought sounds like this: I am not forgotten. I am guided. Every closed door that is not from you protects me. Every open door that is from you welcomes me. I am not a burden. I am being prepared. Heaven is not silent. Heaven is working on my behalf even when I do not see it. When you begin to rehearse this, you are not lying to yourself. You are finally agreeing with me. Look at Mary in Cana at a wedding where the wine had run out. Lack was already at the door. Embarrassment and shame were about to walk in. Yet Mary carried a different thought. If he is here, there is always another way. She told the servants, "Do whatever he tells you." That simple internal agreement opened the door for a miracle that saved that household from public humiliation and manifested quiet abundance in a moment of crisis. Do you see? One thought, if he is here, there is always another way. I am teaching you to replace "it is over" with "if you are here, there is another way." To replace "I have to fight alone" with "I am not alone in this room, in this bill, in this interview, in this decision. Heaven is with me." To replace "there is never enough" with "my source is greater than what I see." New ideas, new connections, new streams of provision can open where I least expect. As you repeat and protect this thought, spiritual doors of creativity, favor, restoration, and even financial realignment begin to move. This is not positive thinking. This is alignment with reality from heaven's perspective. When you choose this thought, you are walking in agreement with the one who owns all wisdom, all resources, all time, and all seasons. You are allowing me to guide you toward opportunities that match who you truly are in me, not who pain convinced you to be. If this is awakening something inside, respond. Gently, like this message, so others trapped in "it is over" can hear "there is another way." Subscribe as a quiet but firm yes to a season of renewed thinking, where every new video becomes another step with me. Share this with someone who stands before lack and thinks there are no more options. And answer me in the comments, what old sentence are you choosing to lay at my feet today? Seal it with the phrase "mente renovada," declaring that you are replacing the thought that closes doors with the thought that opens them. While you receive these words, know this: nothing you offer from the heart passes unnoticed before me. I see the time you separate to listen, the tears you wipe quietly, the small and great decisions you take to keep believing. Every gesture of faith becomes a seed in the unseen, and I am a careful gardener. I forget none of them. There are moments when I move hearts not only to receive, but also to participate, to sustain the flow of what I am doing, to become part of the river that refreshes others. When you choose to honor what touches your spirit, you are not paying for my presence. You are simply aligning your treasure with where your heart is. In that movement, I open new perspectives, new ideas, new doors of favor and provision that you could not foresee. And if you're listening to me on your cell phone, remember that the thanks button appears right below the video, along with the other buttons you already know. Just slide that bar to the left, calmly and gently, or tap the 3 dots that appear next to it. And there you will find the place where your offering of love can be deposited and consecrated before me. And while you slide or tap on this small menu, take the opportunity to check if you are already subscribed to this channel, so that no word that I send to your heart fails to reach you at the right time. Whoever contributes with any amount and a sincere heart, don't forget to leave your name and city along with your contribution, because on the first day of the following month, in a unique and special video on the Voice of God channel, the name will be remembered, mentioned in the form of thanks, and covered by divine blessings released in prayer. If possible, only if possible, contribute with love using the thanks button. It doesn't matter the amount. What matters is the heart with which you give, for it is written, "Whoever sows generously will also reap generously, and I am able to make all grace abound to you, so that in all things at all times, having all that you need, you will abound in every good work." When you place a seed in my hands, especially in times that seem tight, you are declaring that your security does not rest in numbers on a screen, but in the faithfulness of the one who opens and closes doors. Every offering made in faith is a seed before me, and none of them will fail to bear fruit. I watch in secret and reward everyone's viewing. If you cannot or do not feel peace to contribute, remain in peace and stay with me in this message. Your presence here is precious. If you can, and your heart burns to support what reaches you, Know that I receive your seed, I breathe over it, and I will surprise you with my ways. Stay until the end of this message, because I still want to touch your heart with my voice. Walking through the door of identity. Now that you are beginning to change your inner thinking, I want to take you deeper into who you really are. Because the doors I opened for you are always connected to your true identity, not the mask you had to wear to survive, not the label people put on you, not the statistics that try to define your limits. When your thinking about me changes, your thinking about yourself must also change, and that becomes one of the greatest doors of all. Remember Gideon, hiding his fear, threatening the wheat in a winepress to protect the little he had left. Every thought inside him screamed, "You are the least. You come from the smallest clan. You are insignificant, weak, without influence." His circumstances seemed to agree with that. Resources were scarce, enemies many, the future uncertain. Yet when I spoke, I did not address him according to his fear. I called him according to his identity, mighty warrior. Can you see the contrast between his thought and mine? The door of his destiny did not open when the enemy weakened. It opened when Gideon agreed, step by step, with what I said about him. Even trembling, he began to act as someone called, not as someone forgotten. On the same path, you saw yourself as the one who always breaks down, the one who almost gets there but never quite gets there, the one who works so hard but never sees it overflow. These thoughts have shaped your choices, your posture, even how you walk into a room or answer a message. I am speaking a different word over you. I call you courageous even when you feel fragile, because you have kept walking through pain that would have made many give up. I call you faithful, because even with a tired heart you still turn your attention to me. I call you wise because I am placing in you ideas, strategies and solutions that will not only sustain you, but also bless others. I call you a carrier of my presence, someone through whom I want to release peace, healing, and even creative ways of generating resources and building a stable, fruitful life. When you start to think from this place, everything shifts. You no longer enter a meeting thinking, "I am inferior, I have nothing to add," but I am not here by accident. I carry insight and grace. You do not look at your work as a punishment, but as a field where I can develop your skills, increase your influence, and open new streams of provision. You do not see yourself as a beggar at the door of life, but as someone invited to my table, learning, growing, being strengthened to carry more. Identity also heals how you relate to delay and closed doors. Instead of concluding, "I am rejected," you begin to say, "If this door closed, it is because it does not match who I truly am in you. You have better." This protects you from forcing relationships, opportunities or partnerships that would drain your peace, your joy, and even your resources. It keeps you available for the doors that truly align with the purpose and abundance I prepared. Let this sink in. I never design doors of destiny for a fake version of you. Every door I open is tailor-made for the person I created you to be. That is why agreeing with your true identity in me is itself a spiritual key. When you say yes to who I say you are positioning yourself before doors you could not have imagined in areas of influence, creativity, service, business, family, and healing that reflect my heart. If these words are awakening something deep inside, respond with tenderness. Like this message so that more hearts discover they are more than the labels they received. Subscribe as a decision to walk in this new identity day by day, allowing each new word here to pull down a lie and build truth. Share this with someone who has been calling herself less than, so she can hear a higher name. And in the comments answer, which identity word from my heart are you choosing to embrace today? Seal it with the phrase, Identidade Restaurada, declaring that you are walking through the door of who you truly are. Breaking agreements with lack and fear. There is another deep agreement that has closed many doors over your journey, the agreement with lack and fear. Experiences of loss, instability, unpaid bills, broken promises and sudden changes have taught your nervous system to expect the worst. So when you hear words like abundance, provision, increase, part of you wants to believe, but another part whispers, do not get your hopes up. It always goes wrong for you. This silent agreement becomes a ceiling, limiting what you allow yourself to reach for. I understand why you feel this way. I saw the moments when you had to choose between essential needs. I watched the anxiety in your chest when an unexpected expense appeared. I heard your questions when you gave in faith and did not see immediate change. None of this is ignored by me. But I did not design your heart to live permanently braced for disaster. I created you to walk in trust, expecting my care, open to creative solutions and new beginnings, not chained to yesterday's patterns. Look at the widow who had only a little flour and oil left. Her thought was, "We will eat this and then wait for death." Lack had become a prophecy in her mouth. Yet I sent a word that challenged her agreement, to share a portion first, to see me as her source. As she responded, the flour and oil did not disappear. Instead, they were renewed day after day. The miracle was not a pile of resources all at once, but a continuous flow that did not run out. Abundance sometimes looks like this, a steady river that simply refuses to dry, no matter what the season around you says. Breaking agreement with lack does not begin with big gestures. It begins with small inner shifts. Instead of confessing constantly, "I never have enough," begin to say, "You are teaching me how to steward what I have and how to receive what I need." Instead of rehearsing, "Nothing good lasts for me," begin to declare, "Every good and perfect gift comes from you, and you do not change your mind about blessing me." As you change these inner sentences, you create space for new ideas to emerge, new skills to learn, new ways to serve, new doors to knock, new partnerships to build. I also want to break the fear that every open door will end in disappointment. That fear keeps you from applying, from trying, from asking, from investing in yourself. It makes you sabotage possibilities before they even have a chance to bloom. Today, let me stand beside you and say, you are not alone as you step into new rooms. I will give you discernment. I will warn you when something is not for you, and I will strengthen you when it is time to stay and build. You are not a victim of the past. You are a participant in the story I am writing with you. As this word confronts your inner agreements, be honest with me. Where have you been agreeing more with lack than with my care? Let this question linger. If this is loosening chains around your heart, respond with a simple act. Like this message, so that others living under fear of not enough can begin to breathe again. Subscribe as a sign that you choose to walk a path of renewed trust, step by step. Share this with someone whose mind is always expecting loss, so hope can enter her house. And in the comments, write the phrase Alianza de Confianza, declaring that you are breaking agreement with lack and fear and entering a covenant of trust with me. Living in the flow of divine opportunities. When your thoughts begin to align with my presence, identity, and trust, something beautiful happens. You become able to recognize and walk in the flow of opportunities I send. Many times, I have placed possibilities right beside you, but the weight of old thoughts made you overlook them. You called them too small, not for me, or you did not feel worthy to step forward. Now, as you receive this new way of thinking, I want to teach you how to move with me. Think of Joseph, sold, betrayed, forgotten. He could have allowed bitterness to dominate every inner room. Yet even in places of injustice, he chose to serve with excellence, to interpret dreams, to stay connected to me. Because of that, when an unexpected opportunity came, to stand before a ruler and interpret a dream that no one else could, he was ready. That door did not open only because of a sudden miracle. It opened because he had been faithful in hidden places. His inner agreement with me prepared him for a promotion beyond anything he could design. You also stand daily before what seems ordinary, a message to answer, a task at work, a conversation, a chance to study something new, a small door that does not look impressive. When your thought is, "Nothing ever comes from this," you will move carelessly. But when your thought becomes, "You can breathe on small things and turn them into turning points," you begin to treat every step as sacred. This posture attracts in the unseen new doors of connection, creativity, partnership, and even unexpected increase. Living in this flow does not mean accepting every invitation. It means walking close enough to my voice to discern where my peace rests. Some doors promise quick gain, but steal your integrity, your rest, your joy. Others look simple, but carry my signature. As you learn to pause and ask, where are you in this? I will guide you. I will close doors that would drain you and open those that will grow you. In this movement, I will also align your resources, bringing ideas that multiply what you have and protect you from waste. This flow is not frantic, it is steady. Like a river that continues to run even when storms come and go, I will keep leading you into places where your gifts fit, where your story matters, where your presence brings value. Sometimes that will mean staying and building where you are, deepening roots and allowing me to bring growth over time. Other times it will mean bold moves, steps that scare you a little, but resonate with what I have been whispering to your spirit. Ask yourself with me now, where have you been ignoring small doors because you expected only dramatic ones? Where have you been moving too fast to notice my gentle nudges? Let these questions rest in your heart. If this is opening your eyes to a new way of walking, respond. Like this word so that more people learn to recognize the quiet invitations I send. Subscribe as a sign that you want to keep learning how to move in this flow, episode after episode. Share this with someone who feels stuck, so she may see that sometimes the path forward is already at her feet. And in the comments, write fluxo de oportunidades, declaring that you choose to live attentive to the divine opportunities I am placing along your way. Preparing your heart for the next revelation. Everything you have heard until now is not an isolated moment. It is the beginning of a journey. I am not interested in giving you only a brief relief and then leaving you to figure out the rest. I desire to build with you day after day a new pattern of thinking, feeling, and choosing, so that the thought that opens spiritual doors becomes your natural place, not a rare experience. For that, your heart needs to stay open for what comes after this moment. You have already begun to see that your mind is a doorway, that one hidden thought has been closing what I want to open, and that a new thought aligned with my presence can unlock peace, direction, and even new streams of provision and restoration. You have seen that your identity in me is different from the labels that pain gave you, and that agreements with lack and fear can be broken. You have tasted what it means to expect opportunities instead of disasters. This is the foundation. From here, I will keep taking you deeper. There are patterns I want to expose gently, wounds I want to heal from the root, and gifts I want to awaken. There are specific areas: relationships, work, calling, inner healing, the way you see your future, where I will bring more light. Each new message you receive here will be like another key placed in your hand, another step through doors you once thought were permanently closed. Your part is simple and precious. Keep coming. Set aside moments, even short ones, to sit with me through these words. Let them sink. Argue with your old conclusions, comfort your fears, and inspire your courage. When resistance rises and says, "This will not last," answer with the thought you are learning. You are with me. I am not alone. You are opening doors I cannot yet see. Let this become the melody that plays under your days. You are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be to start again with me. I specialize in turning what looked like wasted years into fertile ground for sudden growth. I know how to bring beauty from ashes, clarity from confusion, stability from chaos. Trust that as you return to hear my voice, I will keep arranging circumstances, aligning details, and surprising you with my care. If this word has touched you until this point, respond from your heart, like this message as a declaration that you value what your spirit is receiving. Subscribe not as a routine click, but as a sign that you choose to walk with me in this ongoing journey, returning for each new phase I will unfold. Share this with someone who needs to know that her story is not stuck, that there is a continuation written over her life, and in the comments, write Continuo MT, declaring that you will remain in this path, ready for the next revelation I will pour over your heart. The keys in your mouth. We have walked through the halls of your mind, replacing thoughts that close doors with those that open them. Now we must move to the instrument that gives those thoughts physical reality, your mouth. You have often wondered why certain doors remain shut despite your prayers, despite your tears, Despite your desperate desire for change, I want you to look closely at what you say when you stand up from prayer. You ask me for financial freedom, yet moments later you tell a friend, I will never get out of this hole. You ask me for healing in your family, but you mutter to yourself, nothing ever changes with them. Do you see the conflict? You are using one hand to knock on the door and the other hand to double lock it. Your words are not just sounds that vanish into the air, they are creative containers. They carry the atmosphere of your heart into the world around you. When I created the universe, I did not just think it, I spoke it. Let there be light, and light obeyed. You are made in my image, and your voice carries a measure of that creative authority. When you speak words of defeat, scarcity, impossibility, and fear, you are essentially prophesying over your own future. You are giving instructions to the spiritual realm to keep the doors closed. You are agreeing with the enemy of your soul, who wants you to believe that you are trapped. Think of the rudder of a great ship. It is a small piece of wood or metal, yet it determines the direction of the entire vessel, steering it through storms or into safe harbors. Your tongue is that rudder. You may feel like a small boat in a violent ocean of economic instability, relational pain, or uncertainty. But every time you speak, you are turning the wheel. When you say, I am blessed, I am favored, I am guided, you steer your life toward open waters. When you say, I am doomed, I am unlucky, everyone betrays me, you steer your life directly into the rocks. I challenge you today to listen to yourself. Record your conversations. Note what you say when you are angry, tired, or frustrated. Those are the moments when the truth of your inner beliefs spills out. Are you blessing your future or cursing it? Are you speaking life over your bank account or declaring death? Are you calling forth health or agreeing with sickness? This is not about denying reality. It is about superseding a lower reality with a higher truth. The lower reality says, there is no money. The higher truth says, my God supplies all my needs. When you speak the higher truth, you insert a key into the door of provision. There is a spiritual law here. You cannot have a positive life with a negative mouth. You cannot walk through open doors while complaining about the locks. Complaining is the language of the wilderness. It kept an entire generation circling the same mountain for 40 years. Praise and declaration are the languages of the promised land. They brought walls down at Jericho without a single battering ram. I want to give you the Jericho victory, but you must stop speaking the wilderness language. Begin to align your speech with my promises. Instead of saying, I don't know what to do, say, I have the mind of Christ, and wisdom is coming to me. Instead of saying, I am so lonely, say, I am surrounded by God's favor, and He is bringing the right people into my life. Instead of saying, I can't afford that, say, I am a steward of God's resources, and abundance is my portion. As you change your confession, you will feel a shift in your spirit. The heaviness will lift, the atmosphere in your home will change, and in the unseen realm, bolts will slide back, hinges will turn, and doors that have been rusted shut by years of negativity will begin to swing open. Use your voice to decree the opening. Speak to your mountains. Speak to your obstacles. Do not just talk about the problem, talk to the problem. Tell your debt that it must dissolve. Tell your body that it must align with my design. Tell your confusion that it must bow to my peace. This is how you use the keys I have placed in your mouth. You are not a helpless bystander in your life. You are a co-creator with me, authorized to speak doors open in my name, the weapon of radical gratitude. You might think gratitude is just a polite reaction to something good that has already happened, but in my kingdom, gratitude is a weapon. It is a spiritual strategy. It is a key that opens doors before the breakthrough manifests. Many people wait to see the blessing before they say, thank you. But faith says thank you, while the hands are still empty, knowing that the promise is sure. This kind of radical gratitude confuses the enemy and aligns your heart with the frequency of miracles. Look at the moment when I stood before the tomb of Lazarus. The stone was still there, the body was still dead, the smell of decay was real. Yet before I called him out, I looked up and said, Father, I thank you that you have heard me. I gave thanks before the dead man moved. I gave thanks before the door of the tomb opened. Why? Because gratitude is the ultimate expression of trust. It tells the spiritual realm that you know who I am and that you know I am faithful. It creates a landing strip for the miraculous to arrive. When you grumble about what you do not have, you focus on the lack, and what you focus on expands. You close your heart to the possibilities I have placed around you. But when you begin to thank me for what you do have, no matter how small it seems, you unlock the principle of multiplication. Remember the 5 loaves and 2 fish. The disciples saw scarcity. This is not enough for so many. But I took the little they had, looked up to heaven and gave thanks. In the atmosphere of thanksgiving, the little became more than enough. It multiplied to feed thousands, with baskets left over. You may be looking at your life right now and seeing only 5 loaves and 2 fish. A bank account that seems too small, a job that feels unfulfilling, a house that needs repair, a body that feels weak. If you complain, it stays small. But if you lift it up and give thanks, Lord, thank you for this job, thank you for this shelter, thank you for the breath in my lungs, you invite my power to multiply it. You open the door for increase. You shift from a mindset of poverty to a mindset of abundance. Gratitude also heals your perspective. It washes the lens of your eyes so you can see opportunities you missed. When you are busy complaining about the traffic, you miss the beautiful sunset I painted for you. When you are bitter about a closed door, you miss the window I just opened. Gratitude slows you down and helps you recognize my hand in the details. It makes you attractive to new blessings. No one wants to help a person who is always ungrateful, but everyone wants to bless someone who appreciates every gift. I invite you to practice radical gratitude as a daily discipline. Wake up and find 3 things to thank me for before your feet touch the floor. When a bill comes, thank me that you have the means to pay it, or thank me that I am your provider who will make a way. When you face a challenge, thank me for the strength to overcome it. When you see someone else blessed, thank me for their success, knowing that I have enough for everyone. This shifts your vibration. It changes your aura. It turns you into a magnet for goodness. Gratitude is the sound of an open door. It is the sound of a heart that is satisfied in me. It protects you from envy, from bitterness, from greed. It anchors you in the present moment, which is the only place where you can meet me. Do not let a day go by without counting your blessings. Do not let the enemy steal your song of praise. Even in the valley, even in the storm, there is always a reason to give thanks. And as you praise, the walls of your prison will shake and the doors will fly open just as they did for Paul and Silas. Is your heart ready to wield this weapon? Respond now. Like this message if you choose to be grateful even before you see the answer. Subscribe to join a community of thankful hearts who are seeing doors open everywhere. Share this with someone who is struggling to see the good in their life. And in the comments, list 3 specific things you are grateful for right now, no matter how simple, and end with the phrase gratidão abre caminhos, declaring that your thanksgiving is the key to your multiplication. The barrier of the unforgiving heart. We arrive now at a difficult but necessary truth. There is a heavy chain that keeps many spiritual doors tightly locked, a chain often forged in the fires of valid pain and real betrayal. That chain is unforgiveness. You may feel justified in holding on to your anger. You may feel that forgiving means excusing what they did to you or saying that it did not matter. But I tell you this, unforgiveness does not punish the person who hurt you. It punishes you. It is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. When you harbor bitterness, resentment, or a desire for revenge, you create a blockage in your spiritual arteries. You clog the flow of my grace. I taught you to pray, forgive us our debts, as we also have forgiven our debtors. There is a link there, a connection. If you close the door of mercy to others, you are inadvertently closing the door of mercy to yourself. You cannot ask for flow while building a dam. You cannot ask for open heavens while keeping your heart shut tight against a brother or sister. I know the wound is deep. I saw what they did. I saw the rejection, the theft, the lies, the abuse. I am the God of justice, and I will deal with every wrong. But I am asking you to hand the gavel to me. When you try to be the judge and the executioner, you step out of your calling and into a courtroom where you become trapped. You replay the offense over and over in your mind, keeping the wound fresh, keeping the pain alive. This consumes enormous amounts of emotional and spiritual energy, energy that could be used to create, to build, to love, to prosper. Unforgiveness takes up space in your hands, if your hands are full of old hurts. How can you receive the new blessings I want to give you? If your heart is full of old tenants, where will the new relationships live? You must evict the bitterness to make room for the better. Forgiveness is not a feeling, it is a choice. It is a decision to cut the cord that ties you to the offender. It is saying, you no longer owe me, I release you to God, I choose to be free. When you release others, you release yourself. You walk out of the prison cell. You will feel lighter, your mind will clear. The fog of anger will lift, and you will suddenly see doors that were hidden behind the smoke of your resentment. Healing will spring up speedily. Your prayers will be unhindered. There is a direct correlation between your relationships with people and your walk with me. When you clear the air with others, you clear the channel with heaven. Do not let pride hold you back. Do not say, I will forgive when they apologize. They may never apologize, they may never change, but you do not need their apology to be free. Your freedom is in your own choice. Do not let a bitter root grow up to cause trouble and defile many. Uproot it today. Ask me for the strength to forgive. Ask me to heal the memories. I will pour the oil of joy into your mourning. I will give you beauty for ashes, but you must give me the ashes. You cannot hold on to them. This is the key that unlocks the door to emotional peace and spiritual restoration. It opens the way for reconciliation, not just with others, but with your own story. It allows you to look back without pain and look forward without fear. It is the ultimate act of trust, believing that I am your vindicator and your healer. If you are ready to drop this heavy weight, let me know. Like this video as a sign of your willingness to let go. Subscribe to walk in the freedom of a cleansed heart. Share this with someone who is trapped in the past, helping them find the key to release. And in the comments, without naming names or details, simply write, Eu escolho perdoar, followed by Coração Livre. This is your decree of release. Today the chains fall off and the door swings open. The mystery of the waiting room. You have prayed, you have believed, you have spoken right words, practiced gratitude, and released bitterness. And yet, the door remains closed. You find yourself in a hallway standing between the promise and the fulfillment. This is the waiting room. It is a place that confuses many. You ask, have you forgotten me? Did I do something wrong? Is my faith too weak? Listen closely. The waiting room is not a place of denial, it is a place of development. I'm not a God who teases his children. I do not dangle a carrot in front of you only to snatch it away. If I have put a dream in your heart, I intend to bring it to pass. But I am more interested in your character than your comfort. I am more interested in who you become than what you acquire. If I opened the door of success, fame, or great wealth before your character was strong enough to carry it, that blessing would crush you. It would destroy you. I love you too much to give you a premature birth. Think of the butterfly in the cocoon. The struggle to break free is what forces strength into its wings. If you cut the cocoon open to help it, the butterfly will fall to the ground, wings shriveled, unable to fly. It needed the struggle, it needed the weight. You are in the cocoon. The pressure you feel, the darkness, the tightness. It is forcing strength into your spiritual wings. You are developing patience, endurance, grit, and a depth of trust that can only be forged in the fires of delay. Abraham waited 25 years for Isaac. Joseph waited 13 years in slavery and prison before the palace. David waited years running from Saul before he sat on the throne. Were they wasted years? No. They were the years that made them who they were. They were the years of preparation. Do not despise the days of small beginnings. Do not despise the silence. In the silence, I am working on the internal structure of your life. I am digging the foundations deep so that you can build high. The key to the waiting room is active waiting. It is not sitting around doing nothing. It is serving where you are. It is being faithful with the little. It is preparing for the rain while the sky is still blue. If you are waiting for a spouse, become the right person. If you are waiting for a promotion, work with excellence in your current role. If you are waiting for a ministry, serve someone else's vision. Whatever you want to harvest, sow it now. Trust my timing. My timing is perfect. I am never late, but I am rarely early. I arrive exactly when the stage is set, when the actors are in place, when your heart is ready, and when the glory will be maximized. Do not try to force the door open. A door forced open by the flesh will have to be maintained by the flesh, and it will tire you out. But a door opened by my Spirit will be sustained by my grace. Rest in the waiting. Enjoy the season you are in. There are lessons here that you cannot learn on the mountaintop. There is an intimacy here that is unique. Stop looking at the clock and start looking at my face. I am with you in the hallway. I am holding your hand. We will walk through the door together when the time is right, and when it opens, you will see that the delay was actually protection, and the wait was actually a weight of glory being prepared for you. If you accept this season of preparation, show your trust. Like this message to say, I trust your timing. Subscribe to keep your lamp burning while you wait. Share this with someone who is impatient and about to give up. And in the comments write, Eu espero en ti, adding the phrase tempo perfeito. Declare that you are not just waiting, you are preparing for the sudden opening that is coming. The people I send as keys. You have looked for keys in books, in strategies, and in your own efforts. But often the key to your next open door is wrapped in a person. I work through people. I am the source, but people are often the channels. A connection, a recommendation, a partnership, a word of advice, a mentorship. These are the ways I move pieces on the board of your life. You cannot fulfill your destiny in isolation. You were created for connection. Consider Ruth. Her door to redemption and lineage in the Messiah came through staying close to Naomi and then meeting Boaz. Consider Elisha. His door to a double portion of power came through serving Elijah. Consider the paralyzed man. His door to healing opened because 4 friends carried him and tore off a roof to get him to me. Who are the people around you? Are you recognizing the divine appointments I am setting up? The enemy wants you isolated. He wants you to think you don't need anyone, or that people are only sources of pain. He wants you to withdraw into a shell of independence. I'll do it myself. This is a trap. It cuts you off from the flow of favor that comes through relationships. You must ask me for the discernment to recognize the key people I am sending. They may not look like what you expect. They may not be the wealthy or the powerful. They might be a humble servant, a child, or someone from a different background. Be open to new connections. Be friendly. Be helpful. Sow into the lives of others. Sometimes you hold the key to someone else's door, and as you help them open theirs, yours unlocks automatically. It is the law of reciprocity. Give, and it will be given to you. When you become a connector, you attract connections. When you become a blessing, blessings chase you down. Also, be willing to walk away from toxic relationships that are keeping doors locked. There are people who are anchors, dragging you down, feeding your fears, and distracting you from your purpose. You cannot fly with eagles if you are scratching with turkeys. Ask me for the courage to set boundaries. Ask me to prune your circle. It is better to walk alone with me than to walk in a crowd going the wrong direction. I am orchestrating meetings for you. I am aligning paths. There is a conversation waiting to happen that will change everything. There is an introduction that will lead to your breakthrough. Keep your spirit sensitive. Treat everyone with honor, for you never know who is carrying your miracle. The person you ignore today might be the one holding the key you need tomorrow. Love people, serve people, learn from people. But ultimately, trust me. I am the one who moves the hearts of kings and rulers. I can give you favor with strangers. I can make your enemies be at peace with you. I can cause men to give into your bosom. Your network is important, but your connection to me is vital. I am the master networker. If you are ready to recognize your divine connections, signal it. Like this video to welcome the right people into your life. Subscribe to join this global family of believers. Share this with a friend who has been a blessing to you as a way of honoring them. And in the comments write Conexões Divina, followed by Envia os teus anjos. Ask me to position the right people in your path and remove the wrong ones. The vessel of preparation. There is a story of a widow who came to the prophet Elisha in desperate debt. The creditors were coming to take her sons. She cried out for help. Elisha asked her, "What do you have in your house?" She said, "Nothing except a small jar of oil." He told her to go borrow empty vessels from her neighbors, not a few. Then pour the oil into the vessels. The oil flowed as long as there were empty vessels. When the vessels ran out, the oil stopped. Do you catch the revelation? The flow of the oil, the provision, the miracle, was limited only by the number of empty vessels she had prepared. The supply was supernatural, but the capacity to receive was determined by her preparation. This is a profound truth for you. I am the God of infinite abundance. My resources are without limit. But I can only pour into what you have prepared. If you have a thimble of faith, I can only fill a thimble. If you have a barrel of preparation, I can fill a barrel. You are asking for an ocean, but you brought a teacup. You are asking for a great business, but you haven't learned how to manage a small one. You are asking for a godly marriage, but you haven't dealt with your own emotional baggage. You are asking for influence, but you haven't studied to show yourself approved. The door opens when the preparation meets the opportunity. I am calling you to widen your capacity, stretch your tent curtains, lengthen your cords, strengthen your stakes, educate yourself, learn the skills you need for the level you want to reach. Get your financial house in order, create a budget, pay off small debts, learn about stewardship. This is not unspiritual. This is building the vessels. When I see you gathering vessels, I know you are ready for the oil. Preparation is an act of faith. It says, I believe the rain is coming, so I am digging ditches. It says, I believe the guests are coming, so I am setting the table. Do not wait until the door opens to get ready. Get ready now, so that when the door cracks open, you can step through with confidence and authority. The wise virgins had extra oil in their lamps before the bridegroom arrived. The foolish ones tried to get ready at the last minute, and they missed the door. I want to trust you with more. I want to pour out a blessing you cannot contain. But you must give me something to pour into. Offer me your time, your talent, your discipline. Show me that you can be faithful with the little, and I will set you over much. The size of your harvest depends on the size of your seed and the preparation of your field. Start today. Read the book. Take the course. Clean the house. Organize the papers. Forgive the offense. Pray the prayer. Fast the meal. Whatever preparation looks like for your specific door, do it. Do it with joy. Do it with expectation. You are not just killing time. You are building a reservoir for the glory of God to fill. Are you willing to gather the vessels? Respond now. Like this message if you are committed to preparation. Subscribe to receive daily wisdom for your building process. Share this with someone who has a big dream but needs to start small. And in the comments write, Estoy me preparando, followed by capacidade ampliada. Tell me that you are making room for the abundance I am about to send. The final seal, walking in authority. We have reached the final step. You have the right thoughts, the right words, the gratitude, the forgiveness, the patience, the connections, and the preparation. Now you must walk in authority. You must realize that the door is not just something that happens to you. It is something you walk through. It requires movement. It requires courage. It requires you to lift your foot and cross the threshold. I told Joshua, every place where you set your foot will be yours. I had already given him the land. It was a done deal in heaven. But he still had to march, he still had to fight, he still had to physically occupy the territory. The open door is an invitation to occupy. It is a command to take possession. You cannot stand passively and wait for everything to be perfect. You must move in the direction of your fear, trusting that I am with you. Walking in authority means you do not accept no from the enemy. When obstacles arise, and they will, you do not turn back. You command them to move. You stand on my word. You remind the situation of who your Father is. You carry yourself with the dignity of royalty. You are a child of the King. Do not beg for bread, sit at the table. Do not cower in the shadows, stand in the light. The world is waiting for the manifestation of the sons and daughters of God. It is waiting for you to step into your purpose. The doors of influence, of media, of business, of government, of arts, of family restoration, they are waiting for believers who know who they are to walk through and bring the kingdom culture. You are the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden. Do not hide your light under a bowl. Put it on a stand. I am opening a door before you today that no man can shut. It is the door of your destiny. It is the door of a new season. It is the door of abundant life. See it open. Feel the fresh wind blowing through it. Hear my voice calling you from the other side. Come up here. Come deeper. Come further. Leave the baggage of the past behind. Leave the small thinking behind. Step over the threshold. Walk tall. Walk strong. Walk in love. Walk in faith. The land is before you. Go in and possess it. I am with you always. Even to the end of the age. The lock is broken. The gate is wide. The time is now. If you are ready to step through, make your final declaration. Like this video as your first step of obedience. Subscribe to seal your commitment to this walk of authority. Share this with everyone you want to take with you into the new season. And in the comments, shout with your fingers, EU Tomo Posse, followed by Autoridad en Cristo. Declare that you are entering your open door today. My beloved, listen closely to the beat of my heart for you. We have journeyed deep today. I have shown you the secrets of the mind, the power of the tongue, the beauty of gratitude, and the necessity of forgiveness. I have taught you how to wait, how to connect, how to prepare, and how to walk as a conqueror. These are not just lessons. They are tools for your liberation. They are the keys to the abundant life I promised you. I want you to know that I am not angry with you for the times you felt stuck. I am not disappointed in your tears or your questions. I have been right there collecting every tear in a bottle, waiting for the moment when your heart would be open enough to receive this truth. And now that moment is here. You are different now than when you started this video. Something has shifted. A light has been turned on in a dark room. Do not be afraid of the greatness of the destiny I have for you. Do not let the old voices of you can't and you won't find a home in your head anymore. You are my masterpiece, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which I prepared in advance for you to do. The doors I open for you will lead you to places where your joy will be full and where your life will be a testimony of my goodness. You will see financial doors open that defy the economy. You will see relational doors open that heal lonely years. You will see spiritual doors open that bring you into a depth of intimacy with me you never thought possible. But remember, the greatest door is the one to your own heart. Keep it open to me. Let me sup with you. Let me guide you. Let me love you. When the doubt tries to creep back in, and it will try, I want you to have a weapon ready. I want you to have a whisper that becomes a roar. I want you to have a word that anchors your soul in the bedrock of my strength. Take this word. Write it on the tablet of your heart. Write it on your mirror. Write it in the comments below. Let it be the seal of our covenant today. Never forget, you are seen, you are known, and you are infinitely loved. The days of closed doors are behind you. The season of open heavens is upon you. Go in peace, go in power, and go in the certainty that I go with you. Declare this now, write it down, and let the world know your faith. I can do all things through him who strengthens me.